Okay, so the previous example, so essentially after doing that text stuff, saving it all to the file, essentially you should have something that looks like this. Um, so this is helpful if you want to kind of just save this data as a text file and then work with it later. But in most cases, it's not really realistic that you're gonna get all this data, make another script to kind of rip this data from the text file and convert it into a Pandas data frame or something like that. It seems a bit long-winded. So essentially what you would want to do is convert it to a Pandas data frame. So you want to add this import here, and the code is changed slightly from the previous version, which was only saving it as a text file. Um, yeah, so essentially the changes are that we've added this section here and removed this section where you do essentially before it was just a dumps, which converts that object into a string, and then you'll save it as a string, and then you'll save it to a file, and then that would be saved here. But essentially what we're doing different this time is we are once we get this data object, so once we have this data object, we have it as a munch. Essentially we want to, because the data structure that was there was basically a dictionary nested in three other dictionaries. So it creates a sort of tree-like structure, and we want to flatten that structure. So what we're doing is we're getting one single frame, we're getting one single object or one single dictionary within that triplet of dictionaries. We're getting one and flattening it. So we get just that one, that one, that one, and we've flattened the main three dictionaries there to give us the main values. And by doing that, we essentially create one object, which is temp. And temp's basically a really large dictionary here with loads of details. So we're then we've also created this list of instruments essentially here at the top. Um, we use the global keyword to essentially reference that, because if you do this sort of script and you put that, it would create its own um, this object within the confines of this just function alone, which could create issues. So essentially, after we do that, we then append that temp into this list. So this list at the end of the program, this will contain all instruments added. And just as a precaution, we're saving it to the file every time we find an instrument, because what can happen is if the program crashes, you could lose all your data. So this way, at least going through it up until the point when it crashes, you're saving that data to a file, so at least you have something to work with whilst you get the program up and running again. So same sort of thing, we're getting the directory here, get the path here, get the file as a CSV, we're then getting file name, this, that, we're then converting it into a dictionary, a pandas data frame, I mean. We're then saving that pandas data frame to a CSV file, and so if you essentially run it, so you see we're here, we're saving it to the file, saves to the file, pops, does the same thing it does before. So if we open it, you can see we've got the column names here, and we've got the actual content there. So if I run this a few more times, let me open up again, you can see more data's been added. Okay, so yeah, that's essentially how you would append this data into a pandas dictionary instead of a txt file. But yeah, depending on your preference, you choose which one's which. Okay, so in the end, so just to kind of add an extra point, in the end, you'll probably have something that looks a bit like this. This is fairly large. I think it has 20,000 lines, so 20,000 instruments. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.